Yeah, it's without music because usually I'd put music, but I tried downloading Spotify, putting on like music, and right now it's really late. And if I was to record a movie, not movie, I'm not that talented when I'm talking about a story with music, then my parents would kill me because I'm not living alone. So I'm gonna do this without music. Hopefully my editor, if I find one, would put music over in the background. Not too loud and not too soft, just enough so you can hear my voice clearly. But yeah, so today we're moving on to the creepy story called The Dollmaker. Now, a brief description is the Dollmaker story is pretty short. It's about a boy of 9 years old named Vine, which went through horrific ordeal in his life and turned him into a monster. Now, without further ado, I already recorded this whole story once and failed because you can't hear my voice and the music is way too loud. So we're gonna do this from the top. Okay, welcome to The Dollmaker. There once was a man who made beautiful dolls of all shapes and sizes. He even made life-size dolls. Many people requested those expensive and exquisite dolls, and though these brought the humble man a lot of money, he lived modestly with his young son, Vine. The young boy was fascinated by his father's work. The doll parts and finished dolls filled the home. Each was unique and had their own beautiful personality. Vine would watch in fascination as his father would paint the delicate lips upon their pale faces. He wanted to be just like his father someday and create gorgeous works of art. One day a rich businessman requested an ornate life-size doll from the humble dollmaker. He went by the name Gear. However, the dollmaker refused to make the doll upon discovering Gear was crooked and wanted the doll for perverted means. Gear grew enraged at the maker's refusal, so enraged that he sent assassins to get rid of the dollmaker. The dollmaker's home was set ablaze. He sacrificed his very own life to save his son from the flames. Vine watched in terror and dismay as his father burned alive before him. His tears evaporated from the heat as he watched his home turn to rubble and ash. He sobbed over the remains of his father, surrounded by charred remnants of his home, of the beautiful ornate dolls. They were now melted, distorted, horrid, disfigured atrocities of what they once were. Vine searched through the wreckage with his tiny hands, trying to find anything that may have survived the blaze. In the end, all he could find was a life-sized pink glass doll eye. He put it in his hands and held it close to his heart, his messy black locks falling in his face. The eye was all he had left. The child was at the mere age of 9 when he watched everything he had ever known be destroyed in an instant. Unfortunately, the terrors were not over for the child. Gear had hired the same assassin return to the scene of the crime to make sure that the dollmaker was dead. They found the charred corpse of the once great maker. However, they also found Vine. Not sure what to do with him, they took him and bring him to Gear. Gear had no real means for him, besides to keep Vine. He kept him to replace the doll that he had never received. And he kept him for 3 years, treating him like a doll, an object, playing with him. Vine was his prisoner. He couldn't take it anymore, and he began to lose himself. His mind began to deteriorate. One night, while the man loomed over him and pinned him to the bed trying to play with him, Vine decided he did not want to play anymore. Vine quickly grabbed a pen and stabbed him. Blood gushed from the hole, and it splattered all over the walls, floor, and Vine himself. He had just killed a man for the first time, and as the body lay there stiffening, Vine stole some money and ran. He lived on the streets, as he wanted to start up the family business again, to make dolls. He lived in an abandoned, boarded-up apartment in the bad part of town. With the money he stole, he got parts and painted beautiful dolls. He sold them, getting more money, trading up, making more and more beautiful dolls, more lifelike dolls. Plastic clam porcelain no longer became enough to satisfy him. News report. Missing teen murdered. A horrific scene was discovered at the town park. Emily Ryder brutally mutilated. Autopsy report. Cause of death: blood loss and shock. Found in what appeared to be an elegant hand-stitched gown. The corners of Emily's mouth had been sewn into a small smile, and lips painted a deep red. Her eyes had been gouged out and replaced with glass ones, fake eyelashes and painted makeup. Her nails were removed and replaced with fake nails. A frozen expression remained on her face. Her head was shaved and replaced with blue hairs, sewn into her scalp, replacing her once blonde ones. And perhaps the most disturbing, every joint in her body was popped out of their sockets or broken. Truly the work of a psychopathic killer. It appears Emily Ryder was very much alive when the killer started to mutilate her. She was alive as he had her face sewn into place, each lock of her hair tediously sewn into her scalp, and as her eyes were gouged out. She initially was found on a park bench, put in place like a doll on display. This would explain perhaps why the joints were popped out of the sockets. It would make it easier to display her in whatever way he pleased. By the way the killing game was executed, it appears the killer views his crimes as works of art. Emily was Vine's second murder, but a first of a string. He got a thrill in creating new dolls, carving into them, making them beautiful. He was now 17 and never caught, still living in abandoned homes, still killing. One might describe him as schizophrenic. He had gone completely mad, though he did not believe so. Vine, however, thought he was fine. He lived in a reality he had created for himself in his own mind. He was not a killer. He was an artist who made beautiful dolls. Vine prided himself in his work, but still saw himself as worthless, dirty used goods. In an attempt to make himself as beautiful as his dolls, he gouged out one of his own eyes and replaced it with the only thing he had left from his childhood, the glass doll eye. He then stitched half a smile into his lips. However, he did not finish the job. There was too much pain. He felt he failed in making himself beautiful, leaving scars, leaving his face disfigured by his own hands. He knows he is damaged goods. He knows he is worthless. All he can do is make people happy by making his beautiful dolls. His work became quite popular in the news, papers and television broadcasts for displaying his art in public places, and he loved his given name by the public too, the doll maker. Just like Daddy, right? Let me make you beautiful. And that's the end of the story, guys. So, I decided never mind, I won't put music. You can hear me more clearly without music, and I'm fine with that. So, from now on, I would be giving you a brief description, read the story, and then I'll review it myself. This could be a podcast. You don't need to have your phone out. You can put it away. This is a proxy zone over here. Nothing interesting. So, okay. Now my own thoughts. From the start of the story, it explained how Vine's father was a lovely doll maker, and that's nice. You know, there's a lot of doll makers out there that make good work, and people appreciate their work. And from the start, Vine was just a normal boy at the age of 9, you know. and he looked up to his father. His father was, you could say, a role model for him, and he wanted to be just like him to create dolls that his father had. But like, it all changed when Gear said he wanted, a beautiful, rich, really rich, ornate doll, a life-sized one, and like the doll maker said, like, he knew he wanted the doll for perverted means, and he refused, which is the right thing to do, of course. And not only was he angry, he also hired assassins to kill the man. And even to take it even further, he didn't even let the boy live. The assassins even took the boy and gave it to Gear, and Gear did disgusting things to him. So if like taking Vine and putting him all through that until he finally just snapped, I mean, it's understandable, I guess. Like, yeah, it's understandable. It's honestly just sad. But yeah, I feel like these stories all have something alike. They always have to get a main character, put them through horrific like things, and then make them like just break. Staying with Jeff the Killer, Alice Jack, they just been through some horrific stuff. Till they snapped and was like, you know what? I can't help it, This is really short. Next time we'll read The Bloody Painter, and it is about a boy. Well, actually, I'll just tell you about the main next time. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified. I love you all, and remember, stay creepy. Bye bye.